What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So we just got done watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. My third time. Her first time.
Because somebody left me to go to LA, and I don't go to movies by myself.
We saw it, and we have some thoughts. We're just going to kind of go all over the place. I don't really feel like this is a movie that requires me to sit down and go, so the opening credits roll, and then this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens. We're just going to give you guys our thoughts on like the main points of the movie. Be sure to hit the like button, comment your thoughts, spoiler filled down below. Let's talk about it. Subscribe with the notification bell, follow Cam on all our social medias. Let's bite the meat off the bone. We got the drumstick, the hot wing with all the meat. We're biting right into it right now. Illuminati are in this movie. That's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Am I allowed to?
Yeah, I was making that face because your weird analogy.
Alright, so the Multiverse of Madness has about 10 minutes of actual madness. And that's when the Illuminati show up, because there's a point in the movie where Strange ends up going to this other universe with America Chavez. The Illuminati are essentially the Avengers of this universe. We were teased who the lineup would be for the longest time, and we had our theories, and, you know, I honestly think, in hindsight, they revealed too much in the marketing, especially the weeks leading up to it, because we knew 3 of the 6 members, essentially. 4, actually. There were 2 big surprises, and one of those big surprises is John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
How exciting.
And I'm not even lying when I say this. This is full truth. That moment when Krasinski shows up is the most hype I've ever been in a movie theater. Like I watched it.
Pissed I wasn't there.
Me and Soups locked arms. Started screaming.
Pissed.
It was more hype than Toby and Andrew because, to me, Toby and Andrew were confirmed when Murdoch showed up. It was more hype than Endgame, Cap wielding Mjolnir because I was like just emotionally like, that movie, I don't like Cap, honestly, that's why.
It's like more than just them showing up, because here's the thing, like, it sets up the future. People theorized that Mr. Fantastic would be in the movie.
Yeah.
Someone edited a 4 onto the suit when the first trailer came out to make people think that was Mr. Fantastic. But Mr. Fantastic being in there does not confirm that it's John Krasinski in any way, shape, or form. And the fact that they got John Krasinski, this fan cast that has existed for years, I think, and fan cast that is the only acceptable casting to the fans. Like, we were like, if you cast anybody else, no one's gonna like it. And they're like, okay, here you go.
They finally did it, and they killed him.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Killed his ass like he was a piece of string cheese, along with Black Bolt, who was introduced. Captain Carter was murdered, as well as the variant of Captain Marvel.
I did cheer a little bit when Captain Carter's body got sliced. I like Peggy Carter, but beyond the first Avenger and Endgame, I feel like that character is a character that needs to be laid to rest. Any variant form of her, I'm good. I've seen enough. Her showing up in What If was fine because the entire show was just hypotheticals, but bringing her into live action, it's just like, what is the point? I could list 1,000 other really cool Marvel characters that I would rather see on the Illuminati than Captain Carter.
I agree with you. And then she has one of the most cringe lines in the MCU.
I could do this all day.
Which, that line already is overrated in my opinion. When Cap says it, it's like not that cool. Like, I don't know why people are like, oh shit, that's dope.
They literally poke fun at how cringy that line is in Endgame.
Yeah.
When he's like, I know, dude, I know you can do this all day.
Yeah.
When he says it to himself.
Wanda is the villain of the movie. There's no denying it. She's responsible for their deaths. I'm not going to go into detail. You've seen the movie. They get murdered brutally. It's the most brutal MCU movie when it comes to like deaths.
I feel like the Illuminati part was one of, if not the most fun part of the movie.
It was the best part of the movie.
The most exciting part.
The movie peaked in Act 2. The movie starts out pretty decent with, you know, Strange and him going to Christine Palmer's wedding, and then we got America Chavez coming in, and then it like takes a halt, and it's like, nope, Wanda's in the movie. And you're like, damn, I just want a Doctor Strange movie.
That's what I said when I got out of the movie. I was like, I feel like I'm watching 2 different movies at the exact same time. I think it would have been better if they take Wanda out of this movie, take all the scenes that you had, like you gave Wanda, put that into her own movie, give us a solo Scarlet Witch movie, fully focusing on her, put a different villain in the Doctor Strange movie, a villain that we don't care about as much as we care about Wanda, give us a villain that it doesn't matter their backstory as much, so that we're not doing a constant back and forth, because like the Illuminati scene was so good and so exciting, but we hopped back to where Wanda was twice during that scene, and it kind of ruined it a little bit. If we had a villain that we didn't care about as much, we could fully focus on Doctor Strange. Lean heavily more into the Illuminati, lean heavily more into his relationship with Christine Palmer, and you have a perfectly good Doctor Strange movie right there. And then you also have a Wanda movie. 2 separate movies. I don't think it needed to be one movie.
I think Wanda does indefensible things because, yes, she is a villain, but I haven't made a TikTok about this and I'm not going to, so you guys here on YouTube get the rant right from me. I made a video saying I hate Wanda, and here's why, and I couldn't say why. I hate her because, A, she's gaslighting Strange for the first half of this movie. She's like making this big deal like, oh, you break the rules by giving the time stone to Thanos and everyone like praises you as a hero, but I do it and I'm a villain? That doesn't seem too fair. And it's like, he is the Sorcerer Supreme and the Master of the Mystic Arts. He saw every single outcome. That was the only one where they won. Okay? So for you to sit here and say, for you to break the rules, it's, first of all, Wanda, it's to save the universe. You're doing this for kids that, A, aren't real. They exist in other universes. So for you to go dreamwalk or whatever into another body of yourself, you're doing something shitty because you're stripping a mother of her children in another universe. It just happens to be you, but you're still taking a mother from kids. So she likes to sit on this pedestal and be like she's all high and mighty above everyone when she is doing horrible acts herself. And the one thing that drives me crazy is that when WandaVision was coming out, there's video footage in all of our reviews saying, Wanda's really a villain, isn't she? Wanda's really a villain, isn't she? And every Wanda stan was coming out saying, she's not a villain. She's so justified. She's not a villain. I make a video saying I hate Wanda. She does indefensible things, and I just don't agree with her motives. And all the comments are saying, those same people, they're saying, she's the villain of the movie? Were you not aware that she's the villain? Of course she's going to do villainous things. And I'm just like,
which one is
keep that energy when we go back in time to WandaVision then.
Picking and choosing.
Picking and choosing. And it's annoying as hell because I think she's extremely unlikable in this movie, and I don't see her as a redeemed character by the end. I've heard that going around, she's actually redeemed by the end. Just because there's a scene where she sees the horror she's enacting on her kids and says, I'm going to destroy the Darkhold. She's not redeemed. That doesn't mean, it's all fine and dandy. This is a quote from the show Barry. Forgiveness has to be earned. She didn't earn shit in this movie. She saw a variation of herself scared, and she scared her kids. The mother said, okay, you just need to know they'll be loved. And she was like, okay, I'm going to kill myself then. That's literally what happens. You guys have to agree with me.
Oh my god. The way you phrased that was so funny. Scene in this movie where Wong is talking to Wanda, I think it's when they get to that Darkhold place or whatever, and he's like, what about the version of you that you're gonna take the kids from? Like, what happens to her? And he was like, is it not enough closure to you to know that your kids are loved and cared for in every other universe by another version of you? Like, every other version of you, has your children safe and happy and healthy. Is that not enough for you? And I was taking notes during this movie when I was watching it, and I was like, this is literally me to all Wanda stans. Like, is this not enough? Do we need to do all this? And listen, I love a good villain, and I love Wanda as a villain. I really do. I've been saying leading up to this movie that I'm looking forward to seeing Wanda be a villain. But the thing is, her goal in this movie is to get to her kids, is to get her kids into her possession. But to do that, she's willing to kill a kid.
Yeah.
Which is a point Wong makes in the movie. Wong is the voice of reason. Wong is a king. She's trying to get her kids, but to do that, she'll kill a kid, and she'll also take a father away from their kid.
Oh my god, the
Reed
line.
Richards has a family, and she was like, oh, okay, good. You have a wife, though, right? Oh, okay, great. So she can raise your kids when you're gone. Like, you are taking a father away from.
And then she has the gall to call Strange a hypocrite later in the movie. When he dreamwalks.
Hypocrite?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the difference is Wanda doesn't understand what the word selfish is.
No.
And listen, everybody in the world is selfish, I get that. But she's calling Strange a hypocrite for so many things in this movie, and it's like, Wanda, the difference is that when Strange does these things, he's doing it to better the universe, or he's doing it at this point to have to stop you from destroying the universe.
Facts.
When you do it, it's all for selfish reasons.
I don't think we need to see Wanda again in the MCU. It's only the beginning, I feel, because they're going to milk the shit out of her character, but there's closure in my opinion. Leave her.
I agree. Because here's the thing. Wanda is a great character, and I do like her. At this point, the stuff she's done, as Doctor Strange said, kiss the lunchbox goodbye. You're not going to be a hero again out of this. Even though you did, a good thing by destroying the Darkhold in every universe, she cannot be an Avenger anymore. And
I think when she snapped Charles Xavier's neck, that was like, okay, we're probably good here.
She can't,
you're done.
No matter what
you're done.
Does, she cannot be an Avenger again. Simple as that. They killed her perfectly so that she's dead, but if they need her to come back, they'll be like, oh, just kidding, she didn't actually die.
The movie, to me, peaks so early. It peaks in the second act after the Illuminati. Everything after that is pretty forgettable in my opinion. There's a scene that's just lame as It's when he's fighting Evil Strange with music notes. The whole Evil Strange scene, he's talking to him for 10 minutes. I don't even remember half the shit he says. And then they start fighting with music notes. And then Evil Strange gets impaled. And then we actually start the third act. They did all that just to get to the Darkhold, I understand, but God.
The thing is that honestly, that fight probably would have made more sense and felt less out of place if the movie was, like I said, more of a Doctor Strange movie and focused more on Doctor Strange. Because then, if we're seeing him fight himself, after we've just been watching him for the past hour and a half, 2 hours, it'd make more sense. We'd be like, oh yeah, oh wow, yeah. You know what I mean? But we have just been hopping back and forth between Wanda and him, and it's it just feels like two movies combined into one.
I have a glaring issue. It's not something I usually pinpoint because I don't like to be so oh, what the hell with plot holes, but there's a glaring plot hole in this movie. If Wanda's so powerful as she seems, because they present her to be the most overpowered character in fiction in this, her whole purpose is to get America Chavez's power. She has her captive. There's no one else around. and she's just like talking to her, and then we cut away for like 20 minutes. Like, she could have easily just drained her power, movie ends, and I know that from a writing perspective, that's not how things work, but like, you can't really have such open-endedness where like you can just infer, why is Wanda not just stealing her power right now?
She didn't get America in her grasp, like, while Strange and Wong were there already, to make it seem believable that they stopped her.
I think Wong was sidelined too much in this movie. I like him a lot. We need to see more of him, though. He deserves his own like side project, in my opinion.
I love Wong and Strange, like their dynamic and stuff, and which is another reason why I wanted just a Doctor Strange movie, because I love Doctor Strange, and him and Wong are literally just so funny. Like, when Wong entered the movie, I cheered.
Yeah. That was a hype moment in both the times I saw it before this. Like, everyone got super lit. I just don't know why they make him have such a backseat. Like, even Strange at times feels like he's taking a backseat in his own movie, which is not what you want. The most remarkable moments, I think, involve the Illuminati. But, like, Strange has his moments early on where he's doing everyday tasks with magic, turning a drink into wine, tying his tie. Why aren't we just focusing on him more? It's his movie. There's actually arguments going around about the title of the movie. People are like, it should have been more crazy with the title Multiverse of Madness. I agree, but I've seen people like defending it, being like, nah, if it's called Multiverse of Madness, like, I don't get why fans are getting so mad about the title of the movie. It's like, it's called Multiverse of Madness. It wasn't that mad.
Yeah, people are like, you guys had your expectations too high. And
it's a
like,
fucking multiverse movie. You're coming off the heels of No Way Home and Loki.
Don't tell me the expectations were too high when it's a movie that has the word multiverse in it. The thing is that this movie was not advertised as a Doctor Strange 2 movie. It was advertised as a multiverse movie. I literally said this to you, like, leading up to it. I was like, I think that this movie is going to be more of a Doctor Strange 2 movie than this insane multiversal movie.
And it was like a hybrid of everything. It wasn't a pure Doctor Strange 2, and it wasn't a multiverse movie. It was like a Wanda solo movie, partially Doctor Strange 2, and then this Illuminati setup, but then it all went to shit, and then felt like a What If episode at times too.
And
very weird.
So sad, because what's the one thing everyone always says about Doctor Strange? We've seen him in 5 movies, but he's only gotten 1 solo movie, and guess what? It still feels like he only has 1 solo movie.
This doesn't feel like
I don't feel like we just saw a Doctor Strange 2 movie. Like, I want to see Doctor Strange go on his own thing. I think Wanda should have had her own solo movie, and I think Doctor Strange should have had his own solo movie, and combining the two of them was just too much.
I mean, even America Chavez doesn't have the full time to shine that she deserves. It was really cool when she stood up and punched Wanda at the end, but it feels like she was just like in the back seat of the car that they were driving the whole time.
This is more of a Phase 4 thing than just Multiverse of Madness. Okay. I feel like in every new Phase 4 project we get, the question is always, when are we going to see this character again? When are we going to see America Chavez again?
Literally.
When are we going to see Kate Bishop again?
I don't know.
When are we going to see Sam and Bucky again? When are we going to see Loki again? Like,
the list goes on and on.
Yeah, I can't see when we're going to see any of these characters again. Where are we going to see the Eternals again? Where are they? What's going on with them?
Yeah, I have no clue. There's so many little groups of characters that who knows when we're going to see them again in the MCU, and that's an issue with Phase 4 is it's starting to feel less and less like a connected universe or cinematic universe, and more like each project's its own entity, and we're setting up a new world in this project. Like, from Moon Knight to Shang-Chi to Eternals to Multiverse of Madness, everything feels vastly disconnected. And in the phases 1 through 3, each movie kind of led into the next one. I was talking about this, we got Iron Man, and then that was like, okay, we're going to get the Avengers. And then we got each individual character with their movie. The post-credit scene set up their solo movies. Even a movie like Thor: The Dark World has a post-credit scene that shows the Collector, which is hinted at for Guardians. So now it just feels so disconnected. This post-credit scene is very out of place, in my opinion. We're already setting up Doctor Strange 3. When the hell is that going to come out? You introduce Clea, who's going to be like his new love interest right after you have this great romantic arc with him and Christine. Like, what?
It doesn't need to be anything insane to connect these movies. Something as simple as Sam showing up in Ant-Man. Easiest little thing. Yep. Just to throw like, oh hey, this is what Sam's doing, by the way. Mm-hmm. Oh, he mentioned Natasha. Okay, so that's what Natasha's doing. What if in this movie, when they were protecting Carmitage and they opened little portals, it opened to Talo, and they used them to help them protect Carmitage. Cool. Boom. That's just a tiny little thing. It's the little tiny little things, and they don't need to be big. They don't need to be big cameos. It's not like, oh, you just need cameos to be happy. It's like, no, we're in a connected universe. Well, the one thing that Marvel holds over things like DC is the fact that they're so good at connecting all of their storylines, and I feel like that's been lacking.
I tweeted this out. I think this has the most abrupt MCU ending for a movie. Like, he's walking down the street after a little bit of resolution, and then he like freaks out and he has a third eye because there's a discussion between him and Wong earlier about where he read the Darkhold, and that's the impact it has on him is it still has a part of Evil Strange in him, which is going to be interesting to see that role moving forward. But like, it feels so abrupt to me. That's your ending of your movie, and then you cut to a post-credit scene. He's walking down the street like nothing happened. Very bizarre how they wrapped the movie up. I think it's 2 hours long. I love portions of it. Like, I love his relationship with Christine. That's probably the best part of the movie. And I think the Illuminati scene is so cool, and then they get obviously destroyed so fast, which is upsetting. There's also really cool horror vibes. There is. Sam Raimi's direction, you have to give credit to it. I talk about all this in my non-spoiler reviews, check it out above. But the movie stylistically is so unique, and there are moments to love. But at the same time, it's a very big mess of a movie because, like we've mentioned, it feels like it's trying to be 3 or 4 movies in one when it could just be a Doctor Strange sequel. And they could have just marketed it like that. I don't know if this had to be a Multiverse of Madness movie.
The Doctor Strange movie they advertise is really not the movie that you go and see.
No. Like, imagine if they didn't have Professor X in the marketing at all, and when we saw him, he said,
So
we should tell him the truth. And then everyone erupted when we saw him. And they
Okay.
still killed him, but like...
One thing I do want to say, because we just gave a lot of critique, I do want to say Elizabeth Olsen is really, really, really good in this
she
movie.
is.
And in many ways, she does kind of carry, because her acting is just so good. Being a villain. Like, she's scary. She's scary, dog. I'm not scared as her kids. Like, I wanted to hide from her a little bit.
We could sit here and talk about this for hours. The one thing I want to end on is John Krasinski has to come back to play Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four movie, and if he does not, I will be so upset. I may not. I'll watch it anyway, but damn, I will not want to. I think the only reason they brought him in is to show he's going to be, you know, Mr. Fantastic, because all these variants of Strange are played by Benedict Cumberbatch, but then you got the other hand where, Spider-Man and Loki variants aren't the same, so who knows? There's got to be one out there, and hopefully it's the one in the MCU where we actually see John Krasinski. But there is an interesting line, because I did not hear this until the third time watching. I was not able to hear this, where Strange says, Fantastic Four, weren't they around like the 60s? So maybe it'll be like a 60s movie, and then that'll be that, which I'm honestly fine with because I don't know if they're even building to another team-up movie at this point, so just go back to the 60s and make a good-ass trilogy of Fantastic Four movies. Why not? That's cool with me. But guys, what do you think of this movie? Let us know in the comments down below. We didn't talk about every detail. There's so much to talk about in a movie that's 2 hours long.
It's a bit of a jumble.
We kind of wanted to jump all over the place, kind of like the movie itself. We didn't want to go from beginning to end. But let us know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to follow Cam and all our stuff. It's linked down below. Subscribe with the notification bell. I'll have my MCU ranking tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.
Okay.